I don't have a passport. Normal people want the basic human rights that accompany citizenship in any sovereign nation. I don't. My legal residence is a shack in Portugal. My official domicile is a hut on the Black Sea. My certificated abode is a lodge perched on the edge of a cliff overlooking the sub-Saharan rainforest, accessible only by goat path. I don't live anywhere. I'm not a citizen at all.
Wes Anderson's latest film, The Phoenician Scheme, has only just premiered at Cannes and hit theaters worldwide, and already critics are celebrating his signature style of symmetry, whimsy, and star-studded ensembles. For years, Anderson has been praised as one of the most distinctive auteurs in modern cinema, with movies like The Royal Tenenbaums, Rushmore, and The Grand Budapest Hotel earning him loyal fans. But behind the pastel colors and quirky dialogue lies a controversy that Hollywood insiders have whispered about for decades. Anderson is known for paying his actors far less than industry standards, often sticking to a flat fee system that leaves even Oscar winners feeling shortchanged. The flat fee salary system.
She's my Rushmore, Max.
Yeah, I know. She was mine too.
When Wes Anderson broke into the film world, he wasn't backed by vast studio budgets. His earliest work, like Bottle Rocket, was put together with limited resources and the help of friends. By the time Rushmore came around in 1998, he had begun to establish a unique working model for compensation. Bill Murray, who agreed to star in Rushmore, famously offered to take the same salary as Jason Schwartzman, the teenage newcomer headlining the film. This gesture of solidarity set the tone for Anderson's approach going forward. He realized that having a flat fee salary system allowed him to keep budgets manageable while also creating a sense of equality on set. The studio was initially skeptical about the model, but Anderson convinced them after Murray's suggestion. Everyone working on Rushmore, regardless of stature, received the same flat fee. This included veteran actors and newcomers alike. For Murray, the decision was about creative collaboration rather than financial gain. But for the industry at large, it was highly unusual. Stars were accustomed to commanding multi-million-dollar paychecks, not receiving the same compensation as first-time actors. Anderson's choice wasn't about saving money alone. It was also about cultivating a particular atmosphere. He wanted his productions to feel like family endeavors, where hierarchy was minimized. Crew and cast often worked long hours under tight constraints, but the communal approach helped shape Anderson's reputation as a filmmaker with a fiercely loyal team. Still, his egalitarian method wasn't embraced by everyone. By the time the Royal Tenenbaums went into production in 2001, Anderson had become known for his eccentric yet precise vision. With an ensemble cast that included Gwyneth Paltrow, Ben Stiller, Luke Wilson, and Danny Glover, it seemed like an ideal follow-up to Rushmore. But one actor in particular, Gene Hackman, was far from pleased about the director's salary system. Gene Hackman's fury over the Royal Tenenbaums.
Well, Wes called my agent a couple years ago and wanted to meet me. And so I had lunch with him at a hotel here in New York. And he told me that he had an idea for a film that he'd like me to be in. And I asked him not to do that, not to write it for me, because I don't particularly like the things that are written for me. I'd rather kind of invent things that are, rather than have to do something with somebody's idea of who they think I am.
Hackman, a two-time Academy Award winner, initially didn't even want to take the role of Royal Tenenbaum. Wes Anderson admitted later he practically begged Hackman to join the project, refusing to take no for an answer. Eventually, Hackman agreed, but the tension began almost immediately. The problem wasn't the material or the role, but the pay. Hackman was furious when he learned his salary would be the same as his co-stars. In an interview years later, Anderson admitted that Hackman was, quote, grumpy throughout filming and resented the low rate. The flat fee system, which had worked smoothly on Rushmore thanks to Murray's generosity, now collided with Hackman's expectation as one of Hollywood's most accomplished actors. To Hackman, being offered the same compensation as much younger and less experienced performers felt like a professional insult. On set, Hackman was known to keep his distance. While Luke Wilson recalled that the actor remained present and dedicated, always sitting in his chair between takes, Anderson described the relationship as strained. He later confessed that Hackman left production without even saying goodbye. a silent expression of his lingering dissatisfaction. Anderson later regretted not communicating his vision more clearly to Hackman. He felt that if he had shown the veteran actor a cut of the film earlier, Hackman might have understood what Anderson was aiming for. In the end, Hackman acknowledged he liked the final product, but the damage was done. His resentment over salary lingered long after filming wrapped. The incident cemented Anderson's controversial reputation when it came to compensating his stars. The Legacy of Low Salaries.
Wes made this movie
And it's
on
Wes
an
Anderson.
absolute shoestring. To such a degree, we rented a house in Providence, Rhode Island. No, I'm sorry, in Newport. We rented a house and all lived in it together. Wes and Bill Murray and Jason Schwartzman and me and the editor and the cameraman and
in one house?
Yeah, we just rented a house and all stayed in it and all did our own makeup and got into costume in the house, got in a van together and went and did it. It was like being in a summer theater company.
Oh my, that is fantastic. You can retire after moments like that, right?
Not on the money we made. We were getting like SAG Weekly. I think
But you were paid psychically and emotionally. And
I think I made
creatively.
I think I made $4,200 on this movie.
$4,200?
Really, people think like, oh, Hollywood. It's like people ask me like, why were you in that Prada ad in London? Or it's like because I want to do movies like Moonrise Kingdom and Wes doesn't pay.
While Hackman's anger was perhaps the most notorious example, it wasn't the last time Anderson's pay practices sparked conversation. The director continued to rely on his flat fee system even as his career grew and budgets expanded. From The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou to The Grand Budapest Hotel, the director attracted some of the biggest names in Hollywood. Yet they weren't necessarily paid according to their star power. Anderson's casts were often stacked with A-listers: Owen Wilson, Cate Blanchett, Ralph Fiennes, Scarlett Johansson, and many others. But they frequently accepted far less than their usual market value to be a part of his projects. The appeal wasn't the paycheck, but the chance to work in a uniquely creative environment. Anderson's films carried a prestige factor, often winning awards and critical acclaim, and many actors viewed their involvement as an artistic opportunity rather than a financial one. Still, the practice didn't go unnoticed. Other directors and producers have privately criticized Anderson for setting a precedent that undermines industry standards. In a business where pay disparity and fair compensation are hotly debated topics, Anderson's insistence on leveling salaries has been divisive. Some admire the principle, while others believe it undervalues the contributions of established stars. Despite the criticism, Anderson's loyal ensemble has grown. Actors like Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, and Tilda Swinton have returned to work with him repeatedly, suggesting that the experience outweighs financial frustrations. The balance between budget and vision. Part of Anderson's justification for his flat-fee approach lies in his meticulous use of budgets. His films, while visually stunning and rich in detail, often fall into the mid-budget category by Hollywood standards. For example, The Grand Budapest Hotel was produced for about $25 million, a relatively modest sum given its elaborate sets and massive ensemble cast. To make these numbers work, Anderson prioritizes production design, cinematography, and music over actor salaries. He allocates his resources towards creating immersive worlds rather than meeting market pay expectations. This has allowed him to maintain his distinctive style even when working under financial limitations. The Phoenician Scheme, his most recent project, carried a budget of around $30 million, again modest compared to most star-studded films. Actors signing on to an Anderson film understand their paycheck will be smaller, but they also know they're joining a project with artistic ambition and international attention. For many, the trade-off is worthwhile. The Phoenician Scheme and the debate today.
And like people make the making of a movie part of their living. Like Wes is probably the most extreme example in that. Like we all live in a quasi dormitory. We take over a small hotel in some city, and all the actors and like the key crew live in the hotel. And you come down for breakfast in the morning, and people pad down in their slippers and their jammies, and they have coffee and stuff, and they look at the newspaper and say, what are we doing today?
Anderson's newest release, The Phoenician Scheme, once again assembled an impressive cast, including Benicio del Toro, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, and Benedict Cumberbatch. With a $30 million budget, the film reflects his usual approach, a carefully constructed visual world, a dense narrative, and performances from some of the most respected actors in the industry. But questions resurfaced. Did these stars agree to work for far less than their usual fees? Industry insiders suggest the answer is yes. Much like before, Anderson reportedly offered flat rates that were far below what actors like Hanks or Johansson might command elsewhere. The decision continues to stir debate, especially among Hollywood unions and agents who see it as problematic for salary norms. The controversy hasn't stopped actors from signing on, though. Many see Anderson's projects as career milestones, the kind of films that leave a lasting impression even if they don't bring massive paychecks. For Anderson supporters, this validates his approach. For his detractors, it highlights a troubling dynamic in which prestige is used to justify low compensation. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think Wes Anderson's flat fee salary system is a fair way to keep his films creative and balanced? Let us know in the comments section below.